You know, I often hear people say, you know, when a rap artist gets in trouble, or a lot of young men, you know, in your neighborhood and get in trouble, people say things like, the streets are a myth, kids. Don't follow the streets. The streets are a myth. It's a myth. Nah, man. The streets, that's not a myth. The streets are not a myth. It's very, very real. It's the real deal. And that's why you should not play in the streets at all. Word to the wise, man. You know, for young men, don't ever involve yourself in the street life. It's a setup. It's a literal trap. It really is. It's designed for you to, you know, you get in this situation, but it's not really meant for you to get out. Not without no scratches, no blemishes, you know, no jail time, no near-death experiences. And a lot of times, a lot of young men end up dead, man. It's nothing to be celebrating at all. You know, it's nothing that you want to seek out. It really is. It really isn't, man. The streets are not a myth. The streets are the real deal, man. If you get caught up in these streets, you know, the worst of the worst things could happen. I often say, man, when people be like, man, you know, they love the streets so much, I say, man, let me tell you something, man. The streets will watch your little brother grow up and put drugs in his hands. The streets will watch your little brother grow up and, you know, lead him down a life, a criminal lifestyle, a gang lifestyle he ain't supposed to be in. The streets will have you locked up. Well, you, not even just the streets, because you doing the actions, but the streets will have you locked up with nobody to visit you but your mom and maybe your grandmother. You know, and your father, your parents, period. That's about it. All the young dudes, a lot of the young dudes you probably was ripping and running with in the streets, they ain't gonna be there. It's nothing worse than being a man, right? And you sitting in prison for a very long time, but you in prison where somebody has to tell you when you can shower, when you can eat, when you can use the telephone, when you can go outside. You can go outside. That's horrible. Horrible. The person have to tell you when you can go eat. You can't even go to the refrigerator and get yourself nothing to eat, because you locked behind bars. Some men kept in cells 23 hours of the day. And it's another person telling you when you can see your family, when you can see your kids, when you can see your little brothers, your sisters, your mom, your dad, your grandmother, all your loved ones. The streets ain't no game, man. That's why I preach the importance of. I always tell my little cousins, man, you got to be a leader out here. It's important to be a leader and not a follower, man. It really is. It really is, man. You got to think for yourself. You got to be your own man. No matter what nobody else says, you got to stand firm in your convictions and stay true to who you are as a person and follow your heart. You know you was raised right. You know right from wrong. Follow your heart, man. You know, and people try to call you a lame or you a goofy because you don't want to do all the stuff that they doing. You know what I'm saying? Let them know, look, I'm real. I'm staying real to myself. No, you a real dude. And I salute a real man any day of the week. Then I salute a follower. Following ain't gonna get you nothing but locked up or worse. It really is, man. Being in Chicago, Illinois, you gotta have a mind of your own. Because I seen hoods, you know what I'm saying? I seen the hood swallow young boys whole. Swallow young boys whole, young black boys whole, because they didn't. And a lot of them came from good households, but they couldn't have. Some of them didn't. I'm not gonna say all of them came from good households, because some of them didn't have the proper upbringing, the proper structure in their household. Then you had other people that had structure in their household that came from two-parent homes, who still chose to be followers, who couldn't say no to peer pressure, who couldn't turn things down out of fear of not being cool. Let me tell you something, man. That cool stuff, you can't take cool to the bank. You can't cash your coolness at a bank and get a large lump sum of money. You cannot. You cannot. You can't cash cool at the bank. You can't take street cred to the bank at all. What you can do is you can be a person who finds your purpose in life, seeks it out, and continuously works upon that to live a prosperous life and grow past whatever ignorant surroundings, that you're living, that are around you, that's, you know, in your neighborhood. You can surpass all the negativity. You stay true to yourself and stay true to your heart over everything, man. It was a lot of stuff that I missed out on. It was people that thought I was a lame. I thought I was a square because I didn't want to drink. I didn't want to smoke. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be in the streets. I didn't want to rip and run with gangs and stuff like that. I like to hang around good people that like the stuff I like. That like to watch basketball. That liked, you know, pretty girls like I was into at that age. That you know, they liked, like, again, sports. They like just having fun. They like rap, listening to music. They like, you know what I'm saying, going to the mall and kicking and playing basketball, all of that. I didn't want to be around dudes that was in the streets all day. Because I knew nothing good was going to come of it. And I knew personally that me being a leader, I could never allow myself to follow trends to be accepted. I never, like, it came to a point in my life, man, where I didn't care about being accepted by nobody. I didn't care about being accepted by nobody, man. As long as I was living right and abiding by my morals, and I knew my heart was in the right place, and I was doing things that wasn't against my morals, that wasn't against my integrity, and I was just staying true to how I was raised and staying true to my makeup, my mental makeup, and, you know, spiritual makeup, I was fine. I ain't tripped, man, because I knew eventually that anything that was for me was gonna be for me. And you know, I didn't feel no type of way because I knew that other lifestyle wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. And I'd be telling myself a lie if I was living that lifestyle. You know, but the streets ain't no myth. It ain't. I seen a lot of young men that I knew growing up get locked up, doing heavy time. And then they cry on the inside, you know, inside of, you know, them walls, because they know there shouldn't have been nothing they was engaging in, and it shouldn't have been nothing that they was engaging in at all. But, and most importantly, man, I feel like, young man, please don't ever feel weird about being a good person. Don't ever feel weird about being true to yourself. Don't ever feel weird about saying no to stuff that everybody else is doing. Don't ever feel weird about that. Don't ever feel like you a lame. We got to get back to the point where it's okay to be a good person. Where it's okay to stand on your own morals and have a moral compass and follow your moral compass. We got to get to a point where it's okay to be, where it's cool to be your own, be yourself. Where it's cool to not want to drink and not want to smoke. Like, you know what I mean? Where we got to get to a point where it's cool to not want to do those things. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to tell you right now, man, when I first was telling people, it was people that looked at me crazy and thought that, you must be super religious because you don't do that. You know what I mean? But it's like, I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I definitely believe in God, for sure. Definitely do. I'm a God-fearing man, but even if I wasn't, if it's something that I didn't want to do, I wasn't going to do it. Period. I had no interest in doing it. And couldn't nobody or anything persuade me to do so. You know? But I feel like we got to get back to the point where young men is just genuinely just being themselves and not trying to fit in, man. Not trying to live a life that they feel like everybody else is doing. Streets ain't no myth, man. The streets will have you in some stuff and have you gone for 40 years. Gone from your people, gone from your family. And working for that little what they be paying people 15 cents an hour, some ridiculous stuff. I don't know, I've never been in prison, but I just be watching this stuff on TV and I be seeing what they be getting paid for their labor, and you know, all day your family don't got no money to even talk to you on the phone. They gotta take trips to come see you. Your mom, like your family, your parents, they running out of money just trying to come and see you. And you in there because you didn't have the heart to say no to not being cool, the heart to say no to not be accepted by a certain crowd of people because you didn't want to do what they was doing. You know, like I said, I'm playing these streets, man. It's not worth it at all. It's not. And most of the people that was in the streets, when they get out, they tell you they'd do it. Most of them tell you they'd do it differently if they had the chance to. They would rather have lived a legit life and live in peace than to keep paying all this money for legal fees to keep themselves out of jail, living, you know, looking over their shoulder every day of the week, even though I look over my shoulder anyway because I grew up in rough environments and I'm just always aware. But I'm saying these individuals are, other people in the streets was growing up looking over their shoulder because they had so many enemies from parlaying in the streets. Streets ain't no game, man. They not. There's no place for no young man to be. Young black men especially, stay out them streets, man. Stay out them streets, man. Let's put our minds together to create businesses, create all different type of things for prosperity, for us and our families, man, for us and our people. Put our geniuses together, put our brains together, and let's create something that will create generational wealth for our families. Not thinking that you being in the streets, dibbling and dabbling and doing whatever you're doing gonna create generational wealth, because at the end of the day, their radar is gonna be on you by the police, and they ain't stopping until they get you. You know, and they gonna get you. It's only a matter of time, man. So it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it, man. Always be true to yourself, and don't worry about what other people think, man. You know, when I was in school, sometimes I used to think, man, people probably think I'm just the biggest square alive, but I was okay with that, though. I was okay with that because I knew at the end of the day, I was always living my life on my own terms and doing what I wanted to do, not what other people made me do or other people pressured me to do. I never went through peer pressure because, I don't know, man, I was raised to have a sound mind where I could think for myself and not have other people's opinions become my own. You know what I mean? I can have my own opinion and stand firm on it. And even still, man, I have my battles with, you know, standing firm. I don't really have my battles with it, but it's people that try to oppose me when I stand firm on certain things that I believe in. And you know, they try to oppose you, but yet and still, I know at the end of the day, I gotta stay firm in what I believe in and stay 10 toes down in it and stand on it and say that, look, this is what it is, and that's how it's gonna be. I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna run around and rip in the streets, because I know it wasn't for me. I know I didn't never want to be on the corner all night risking my life or risking freedom. I never wanted to risk freedom or risk my life. Ever. Ever. But the streets are not a myth, man. They are very serious, very real. They will have you in a world of trouble than you ever thought more trouble than you ever thought you would ever be in. And it cultivates from wanting to be accepted by people, wanting to be cool. But ain't nothing cool about it. Ain't nothing cool about it, man. Stay out the streets. Put your head in the books. Put your head into whatever purpose that you're supposed to be serving. Find out your purpose and live in it. Live in it and develop it. And may more blessings come into your life. May more blessings come into your life tenfold. But people say the streets is a myth. It's not no myth, man. You can't play around in it. You can't be out here provoking people and living this lifestyle where you just coming in and you begging for war. You begging for, you know, you doing all type of crazy stuff. You can't live that lifestyle and think nothing's gonna come back onto you from that. You can't. Can't be inviting all type of negative energy, ripping, running the streets, and think ain't nothing gonna come back to you from that. It's gonna come back because the streets are real. The streets is real. The streets are real. It's a real. The streets are not a myth. It's real. And the wrong you do in the streets come back to bite you in the end. It come back to bite a lot of young men in the end. In the long run, it may not get you right now at this moment, but it'll eventually catch up to you. And when it catch up to you, it'll be ugly. So, yeah, man, the streets, they are not a myth at all. Stay out of them. Walk on the sidewalk. It's okay to be a quote-unquote square. It's okay to be different. It's okay to like different things. It's okay to not be into the streets. It's okay to not wanting to be on a block. It's okay to not want to risk your freedom. That's okay. Be yourself. Follow your purpose. Follow your heart. Stay on convicted in your stances, and never deviate from your morals. Never deviate from your principles that you have within yourself, because you always gonna regret it, and it leads you get into some trouble that you never wanted to be in. I always say that. Once you stay firm to your morals, you ain't gonna even contemplate going to the streets. Because you confident in the man that you are as a person. Like, you know, you confident in yourself as a man. You really got to gain confidence in yourself as a man to say, you know what? No matter what nobody says about me, I know I'm doing the right thing. And I know I'm really being a boss. I'm really being a leader because I'm following my right man. I'm a leader. I'm a boss. I'm really being a boss because I'm doing what I want to do, not what other people dictate for me to do, or tell me, you know, it's cool to do this. You should do this. You shouldn't do that. Follow your own heart and do what you know is right. And I think that'll make things better, man. Streets ain't no game. Stay out of them, young black men. Leave them alone. Find you a craft. Hone your craft. You know, and take your life and live a prosperous life to help advance your family, to help change your family's life. That's what I feel like. You should put all the energy that you put into the streets, or you even thinking about putting into the streets. Not that you put it into the streets. Take all the energy that you think about putting into the streets and put it into a craft, put it into a trade, put it into something positive. Positivity will come into your life. Peace.